Hello, English 101 students. Now that you have your graded papers, I wanted to um, record a short video to speak with you about the first writing assignment. I hope you enjoyed the article by Tom Hanks. I owe it all to community college. Um, I like reading about what you think the benefits are of attending a community college or the disadvantages of attending one. And I also like reading your perspective on whether or not community college or 2 years of college should be free. So thank you for your submissions. I enjoyed reading them. Now that you have your graded essays back, please, please, please do more than look at your grade. All too often, students will get back the graded essays and they will not read the comments. So you'll find that on your first essay, I do a lot of commenting as the time goes on. I will not comment as much. In other words, I will put the codes on your paper and you will have to use your writer's reference to see what type of mistake that is and how to correct that mistake. But take your essay, read my comments, and I circled most of the codes. I may have forgotten to circle some, but you will see codes like S1A or G3B or P2. And you are to take those codes, look in your writer's reference and find those codes to see what type of mistake that is. Read that section, which not only explains how to correct those kinds of mistakes in your writing, but it provides examples. If you're still having a hard time understanding how to correct like faulty parallel structure or how to make your subjects and verbs agree, then please contact me and we can schedule a time for a face-to-face conference. Don't forget that you also have access to the STAR Institute for tutoring this semester. So make sure you utilize the resources that are available to you. I am made aware uh, uh, of any students in my classes that do go to the STAR Institute. I get an email that tells me when you went for tutoring and what you went to get help for or on. So I had one student in this class who got some assistance with this paper, and that's great. Okay, so want to talk to you about some things that I saw in this paper, and I'm just speaking in general. This may not apply to you, or it may, or some of it may apply to you. But in terms of formatting, most of you scored in the excellent or good range when it came to formatting. And it is important that you adhere to the MLA rules when formatting your essays. Some of you, it was obvious that your font wasn't Times New Roman or 12 point. So make sure with MLA style that you are using 12 point Times New Roman font. And this includes the page number. Okay, it includes the title. You don't have to bold type your title or increase the font size of your title. So make sure you use the correct font. Also, speaking of titles, I had very few original creative titles on this assignment. I did write down a few. I had to modify some, but there was one that I modified, and the title was An Academic Contender. Okay, that's a good title for this paper. Success Where Least Expected. Now, I modified that title. I took out that the second person pronoun you to come up with that title. Becoming Something More, Next Steps, and What Now. Those were about 5 titles uh, And they didn't, and you'll notice they didn't even mention the topic, which was community college. And it's not even necessary to mention the topic because you want to be original, you want to be creative, you want a title that captures the essence of what you're writing about. You don't have to tell us in the title what you're writing about, okay? You don't have to reveal your topic. You just want to pique our interest. You want us to be captivated by the title so much that it makes us want to read your essay. So I want to thank those who um, successfully titled their essays. Now, when it comes to grammatical errors, one of the most prevalent errors that I found in your paper was fragments. Okay, so make sure, and I know it's difficult because we speak in fragments, so it's so easy for us to write in fragments. But when you're proofreading your essays, make sure you have a subject, a verb, and that it expresses a complete thought. Okay, I was happy to see that there weren't lots of run-ons. And that's what I usually encounter in one-on-one classes is comma splices. But there were not a lot of comma splices in these writing assignments. Um, I did see the second person pronoun um, in your writing. Remember, this is not a speech. Therefore, you are not to address your audience. And when you use second person pronouns, that's what you're doing. You are speaking to the audience when you use the pronouns you or your. Okay. I always tell this story about one of my students writing about um, drug addiction. And he kept all throughout his paper, he kept saying things like, when you get hooked on crack cocaine, when you try crystal meth. And I had to write a little note and tell him that I didn't plan to do either one of those things because he was speaking to me when he used the pronoun you. So if you see the code G3B on your essay, I've also indicated the exact page I want you to read, and that's page 196. Okay, so that will address how to avoid using second person pronouns. A lot of times you can take out that pronoun and your sentence will still make sense, or you can replace that pronoun with a noun, or you can use an indefinite pronoun. Okay, so instead of saying when you try crack cocaine, the student could have written when one uses crack cocaine. That one is an indefinite pronoun, or he could have used the noun when a person tries crack cocaine. So those are just a couple of options to help you eliminate the use of second person pronouns in your writing. Okay. Um, I did see some contractions, not a lot, but avoid using contractions in formal writing assignments. I saw the word a lot, a lot. Okay. A lot is one of those words that we asked our students to avoid using in formal writing assignments as well. Avoid sounding conversational in your writing. You do not have to announce in your thesis statement what you are going to do. So don't say, in this paper, I will discuss the benefits of community college. Nope, just simply make the statement. There are many benefits um, for those who attend community college. Okay, you don't have to tell us this is what you think, or this is what you feel, or this is what you believe. You just make the statement, and you don't have to announce that this is what you're getting ready to write about. Okay, so you want to avoid sounding conversational. So once again, make sure you and this is not a hard written rule that the thesis statement is the last sentence of the introduction. The thesis statement can appear anywhere in the introduction. but it's just easier for me when I'm evaluating your paper. I know exactly where to look. Now, most of you did put your thesis at the end of the introductory paragraph, and I appreciate that. Make sure your thesis is strong. In other words, when I read that last sentence, I know exactly what you're going to prove or what the point of your essay will be. Okay? Don't straddle the fence. Don't take both sides. Okay? So, I mean, if you were writing a comparison and a contrast essay, then you would do some of both in the essay. Okay, you won't be doing that type of essay or writing. You will be asked to take a position on a topic and defend that position. Now, I think that's all I wanted to say about this writing assignment. But since I have graded those, and I hope you will spend some time reviewing my comments and reviewing the sections I've indicated that you need to review in your writer's reference, which is your handbook for this class. Now, I'm going to make your second assignment available, your second essay. I'm going to make it available a few days early, and hopefully that will give you enough time to do a great job on this paper. Now, I do want to say that on the first essay, I'm pretty lenient in terms of the number of points I deducted for your writing mistakes. Now, if you want to know what your grade would have been had this been the second or the third essay, then you can take a look at the rubric, which is in your syllabus. And you know, to get an A on this paper, that, you would have to have 0 to 1 mistakes, okay? Uh, to get a failing grade on the paper, you would, if you have 4 or more major writing errors, because we typically deduct 10 points for each major writing error. So, in other words, if you had 2 fragments and 2 run-ons, then that will constitute an automatic F. Okay, so you want to address these problems before the next assignment. You want to proofread your papers carefully to eliminate any grammatical, mechanical, or formatting error. So, but this next writing assignment will be on the article Growing Up Tethered. Now, this is just like a chapter from a book that Sherry Turkle wrote. And this section is in your textbook. It's in your textbook, so use your textbook, okay? Use this, because if you go online, you're going to probably pull up Alone Together. I think that's what it's called. And this is like a chapter of that book. But I'm not asking you to read the entire book. I just want you to read what's in the textbook. And it's titled Growing Up Tethered. It's on page 578. Okay. And it ends on page 592. So it's only about 4 or 5 pages long. You will have 4 topics to select from. Now, in this paper, it will not be optional whether you reference the article or not. You will be required to reference the article. So use anywhere from 2 to 3 direct quotes to support your points, okay? In the body of your essay or in your introductory paragraph, you can use a quote. Make sure you utilize MLA format, and you will be required to have a works cited page with this assignment. When you pull up the assignment, you'll see that I have included some PowerPoints, and these PowerPoints are on second person, how to eliminate the second person pronouns from your writing, how to correct run-ons and fragments. And there is a handout on coordination and subordination, how you can successfully join 2 sentences without creating a run-on sentence. But this is one of my favorite articles about technology and the use or the dependency we have on technology in our society today. I think you're going to find it extremely interesting. So, I'm going to end now so that you can look at the assignment and begin writing essay 2. Thanks.